Is that in the centre?
Yeah.
Is it flashing?
Yeah.
Great, then it's working. Roll titles.
This week on The Gadget Show, scary woods, werewolves, and a woman in a bikini. John recreates classic movie moments to test video editing software. We check out some of the latest and coolest power tools around.
There you go, half a breeze block.
And Jason puts his whole life online, every minute of every day of every week, using his latest gadget creation, the Live Cam.
Fantastic.
Hello and welcome to The Gadget Show. This week we've managed to persuade the producers to let us loose on one of the coolest set of gadgets you can buy, radio control models.
And don't get thinking that we're talking about mere toys, because I tell you what, since I was a boy, these things have changed. No longer do the batteries only last 10 minutes or your favourite cardboard Ferrari gets eaten by your cat. This is the real deal. They can go at stupid speeds, almost as fast as normal cars. They can hover upside down, you name it.
And they can climb walls. Right, watch this. Come on, baby.
Tom, look at that! That's absolutely incredible!
You could probably vacuum your carpet with that because it's sucking the air in. That's what's keeping it attached to the wall. Now, come on, is that not the cutest thing you've seen in ages?
I think it's amazing. In fact, importantly, I think this thing is the beginning of a whole new genre of toys. You can just see now they're going to get robots that go on the ceiling. It's just going to be the biggest thing.
OK, look, I've got something for you. Tanks. Shocking tanks.
Excellent.
Yeah? OK. Now, Jace, look, these are called shocking tanks. Yeah. Obviously, tanks. And when I fire at you and hit you...
Ow! Ow!
You get an electric shock through your handset.
Ow! Ow! Honestly, that is irresponsible. Ow! Ow!
Unsurprisingly, radio control was first developed by the military, mainly for blowing stuff up. In the Second World War, the Germans used radio control missiles and glider bombs to attack and blow up ships.
The military still spend billions on developing radio control technology called UAVs, or unmanned aerial vehicles. Thankfully, none of that money goes to waste.
Why? Because eventually all of that technology filters down to us. Obviously, I don't mean me and Suze. I mean everyone. The people.
The fact is that whatever you want to buy, however much you want to spend, there's a remote control something or other out there for you, but be warned, it can turn into a very expensive hobby.
The Radio Control Club of Britain has 10,000 members, and these guys take the sport very seriously indeed. Many of them started out racing real-size cars. Apparently, Ayrton Senna used to be a radio control racer in his spare time. The cars cost around $1.5 grand each, and that's just for the basics. To get race ready, everything from the suspension to the steering is tweaked and upgraded. Basically, anything you do to a Formula One car, you do to these. There's even miniature tyre warmers to put on before the big start. When they're out on the track, they're fast. Top speed for these racers is 55 miles an hour. When you scale that up, that's the equivalent of a real car going over 200 miles an hour, which means they're pretty tricky to control. When they have meets abroad, the top boys go out up to 2 weeks in advance to practice.
Impressive, we thought. Fast, we thought. But how do they compare to a real car? I feel a drag race coming on. Oh, there's little Andy. He's at the controls of the Fusion 21 Nissan Skyline.
And then John in the Lotus Elise waiting for those green lights. Few nerves on the start line, and here we go.
The lights are on. We've got the pre-lights. Oh, edging forward.
Oh, and
they're off. Look, the little Skyline leaps off the start. That's definitely its advantage because of a very good power-to-weight ratio. 1.8 kilograms, this car, capable of 80 miles per hour. To scale, 1/10 scale, that's 800 miles an hour. The Lotus, though, coming fast. John does not want to be beaten. If the last thing I want to happen is to be beaten so thoroughly by that miniature car. Look at that, look at that. Incredible.
Yeah, and I think the Lotus Elise, John was just about 1/10 off that. It was so close, as you could see in that replay. But fantastic power-to-weight ratio.
I think that's what the little car has got, and you can see the way it leaps off the start. Although Andy, the guy driving the car said that it didn't have much grip at the beginning, and you could actually see it wheel spinning.
Absolutely, no traction.
It's got little foam tyres rather than the rubber, which the Lotus Elise has.
And it was quite funny at the end, because John had to keep on picking it up and bringing it back because it had gone completely out of range. But good test, wasn't it?
Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, really good. Well, listen, now we've whet your appetite. You're probably dying to go out and get your own little joysticks. You need to know exactly what to buy. So stick around, because later on in the show, Jason and I are going shopping for the best remote boats, planes and cars in preparation for our latest head-to-head challenge.
Believe me, you do not want to miss this. We get our hands on some serious toys.
And while we're on the subject of remote control gadgets, come take a look at this. You remember Robosapien and Robosapien V2? Well, this is Robosapien Media, or RS Media, as he's affectionately known. But this time, you can play your music through him, videos, and what's really cool, on his chest, you can play...
Look out for that cactus!
Absolutely. You can play Java games, but the thing that I really, really like about him is that you can change his personality. He comes with 4 of his own, but Jace, get a load of this. It's got its own software, so you can...
doggies!
you can tailor it and create a clone of yourself within him.
OK, so if you can clone yourself and put you in him, does that mean that we can go for a cup of tea and let him do the next link?
You know what? It does.
OK.
Time for a break now, but still to come, John tests video editing software and manages to get a woman to don a bikini and walk into a freezing cold pond. Why? All is revealed after this break.
A very wise man called, actually, I can't remember what he was called. Not even sure he's terribly wise, actually. But he once said that footage, that's to say moving pictures, video, film, that sort of thing, can always be improved or made better, made superior, ameliorated in some way, with a bit of shuffling about a bit, you know, putting one bit in front of the other, cutting certain bits out altogether. In other words, editing. Look, I'll show you. A very wise man once said that footage can always be improved with a bit of editing. It's especially true of home video. Cutting out the reams of nothing could turn your endless holiday footage into snappy, watchable clips that other people just might want to see. Now, there are a fair few editing packages available for computers, but which one's best? Now, obviously, we'll need some video to edit, and the Gadget Show team, never short of frustrated actors, have got together to recreate some famous moments from the movies. Right, Kelly, if you'd like to go into the water now, probably about 20 or 30 feet out.
First, there's this famous scene from the Bond film Dr. No, where Ursula Andress emerges from the ocean. We're working on a budget, so we couldn't really justify flying to Jamaica for a 20-second clip. Instead, we braved the changeable weather at a large pond in Worcestershire. Luckily, we don't need to spend a fortune on the editing programme either. There are quite a few free packages that are a good introduction to the art.
In fact, the chances are you've already got one, because Windows XP comes with something called Windows Movie Maker.
It's a basic, easy-to-learn, no-frills programme. You can cut out the bits you don't want, apply some basic effects, and output in most formats. There are downsides, though. There's only one extra pair of audio tracks, so adding voiceovers and music is difficult. And there's nothing in its arsenal to make our lake look more like the film. Movie Maker's also rather fussy about what footage it accepts. Mini DV and AVI files are no problem, but for most other things you'll need conversion software, which can get a bit messy. Free programs tend to be great if you just want to thin out your home movies. But if you want to do any serious editing, you'll soon get frustrated. Compare what we edited with our free software to the same footage edited in the Gadget Show suite, and you'll see what you're missing out on. The range of effects on the professional system allow us to turn rain into sun and Worcestershire into Jamaica.
But there are programs that bridge the gap between home and professional software. You can buy Adobe Premiere Elements, a cut-down version of a professional package, for under 60 quid.
Premiere is probably the first port of call for many new editors and is a good stopgap, accepting lots of movie formats. So in the spirit of the Blair Witch Project, we're shooting this with any camera we can get our hands on. Still cameras, normal camcorders, a DVD camcorder, even mobile phones. Premiere Elements is fairly easy to pick up and use, and has enough features to keep the creative filmmaker happy, though many of them seem deeply buried in the menu system, where they're hard to find. Surprisingly, there's no support for HDV material, though I did manage to edit all our various formats together for our short Blair Witch tribute. Continuing the chilling vibe, we're heading to the lab to indulge in some Hammer-style horror.
And today we're going for the routine where the mad professor turns into the evil monster. People are doing this at home with their camcorders on Saturday afternoons all over the country, believe me. Growl, please.
My favourite package is the one I used to edit this film. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but it's Vegas Movie Studio from Sony.
My previous experience of Sony software has been blighted by programs that are willful, awkward, or just plain faulty. But this one's a dream to use.
It's a little more pricey, but it's still a good investment. It has an intuitive layout that's easy to get into, and also a decent range of complex editing filters and tools. They take a bit more digging out, but the tutorials are easy to find and very easy to follow. With this, we can morph through the changes, add some good lighting effects and moody music. And with these extra audio tracks, I can get the harrowing sounds of a creature in pain, together with some suitable music. Strangely, it won't accept video from stills cameras without downloading some extra software. But that's free. And just take a look at our results.
Love the werewolf movie, John, I've got to say. Some great special effects. Did you do all those special effects on the laptop?
Absolutely. On this laptop, using Vegas Movie Studio, it took me about a couple of hours.
That's absolutely fantastic. I must say that I was surprised to see you didn't include my favourite editing system, the iMovie on the Mac, which, I mean, I've got a big affinity with. I've been using it for years. In fact, I used an earlier version of iMovie to put the showreel together that got me the job on the Gadget Show about, I guess about 2.5 years ago.
But see, that was 2.5 years ago. I tried iMovie in its current version, iMovie HD, and I found it quite buggy, actually. It dumped all my rushes in the trash. It tried to convert my standard definition movie into a high definition one. I gave up in frustration in the small hours of the morning with it, whereas with this, I was a confident editor within the hour.
Well, there you go. Sony's Vegas is obviously the Gadget Show's editing solution of choice.
Now it's time for this week's big challenge between Jason and me. As has become the norm on this show, we were only told where to be and at what time. We had no clue of what we were going to do.
We found them out one grey morning last week in the city of roundabouts, Milton Keynes.
Right then, challenge for
Another day,
today.
another challenge.
Radio-controlled triathlon. Oh. In the race, you must operate a series of radio-control models over land, through water and in the air. Extra points will be given for tricks and stunts.
Fantastic.
Oh, no. You've got £500 and 1 day to buy the best RC models you can to complete this task.
Fantastic.
The race will start tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Winner takes all. Don't be late. That was a bit...
That is fun. So that's why all these models are in this shop.
I wonder why we're in Milton Keynes. OK. Oi!
Time to race around the toy shops to buy the best radio controls we can.
He's needed stabilising for years.
Radio control is big, big business. In this country, tens of millions of pounds are spent on these models every year. There are hundreds of cars, boats and planes to choose from. If you want, you can spend thousands on them, but you can also buy on a budget.
You can pick up a radio-controlled car in a toy shop for about 20 quid, but what's that going to get you? Well, it's ready to go straight out of the box, and obviously it's battery-powered. But really, for that price, it is pretty limited. I mean, this goes about 7 miles an hour, which is just going to trundle around the floor. I need something that's going to do jumps and tricks to beat old Bradders. That's no good. We'll leave it there.
I'm hoping that my £500 will get me speed and style.
As radio-controlled cars go, this ticks all my boxes. Got a lot of ground clearance so I can get over obstacles. Those tyres are gnarly. A nice bit of bling there as well on the chrome hubcaps. Big engine, built like a tank so I could smack it into a wall and it wouldn't fall apart. Absolutely perfect. Ali, how much is it?
That one's 650.
For around the £100 mark, you can get a good boat. But we'd recommend that you spend at least £200 if you want a decent car. And the basic rule is, spend more if you want to go faster.
With planes, though, it's different. If you go out and spend thousands of pounds on, say, for example, a plane like that, and you can't fly, the chances are you're going to crash it. It's going to be a complete waste of money, waste of time, and waste of a fabulous plane. So, if you're just learning to fly, what you want to really do is look for something like this, a learner plane with anti-crash technology. It costs about £100. Very, very steady, stable, and it's a good place to start.
Once you've worked out the money, you need to think about power. Most radio-controlled cars use nitro fuel. It's not something you can pick up down your local supermarket, and it's dirty to deal with. But it does give you more speed, more noise, and a much bigger buzz. Your other option is battery power. Batteries are simple and clean to use, but they can take ages to recharge. I charged up this beauty for almost half an hour, but it didn't last long at all.
You see, I've been having about 15 minutes fun with this car, and can you see, this is the big drawback with batteries. That power has gone. I've virtually got no steering at all, and all my fun's over. If it was nitro, I'd just refuel her and I'd be off.
Finally, you may find extremely good deals for RC models on the internet, but we reckon you're better off visiting a specialist shop. The people who run these places are almost always experts and like nothing more than talking to radio-control virgins about their favourite subject. And if you haggle, you might get just as good a deal.
So, after a day's frantic shopping, Jason and I were fully kitted out and ready for our radio-controlled showdown, which, of course, you can see a little bit later on in the programme. And believe me, it's good. We've got a 300-mile-an-hour radio-controlled jet.
This week's critical list is a little bit different. For ages now, I've been hammering on at the Gadget Show team to let me get my hands on some power tools. And finally, they've given in. So I'm in my garden and I'm about to play with some of the latest and the greatest. And even better, they've organised a model. And rumour has it, they're going to take the top off. Leslie, right?
Yeah.
I'll start with this. It's called the Alligator by Black & Decker, and it's basically a manual lopper, except it's got the added advantage of having a built-in chainsaw. Apparently this thing will go through 4 inches of whatever you put in front of it in as many seconds. So all I need now is something to lop. Oh, where did you find that? Fantastic. Okay, you ready?
Now, just before Jason and his new friend Leslie continue, I should point out that getting a muscly male stripper to hold stuff while you go at it with power tools is not a safe way to work. So don't try this at home.
Look at that! Fantastic! And in the middle there. Absolutely amazing, like a knife through butter. About 10 years ago, you couldn't have got anywhere near this type of kit without renting it, but now they're all over the place. As technology becomes cheaper, the tools get more hardcore. Yeah, Leslie, you have some fun with that. I'm going to play with some more toys. This is the BDL 500M. It's a laser level and digital tape measure. Say you want to put a picture on the wall, but you want to make sure it's as level as it can be. What you do is you pop a nail through the centre there, and this thing will automatically level itself in 5 seconds. Also, it enables you to make 90-degree lines on 3 different axes. I'll just show you. I just line up the right and left lasers on the edge of the wood, and there is my line. All I need now is a pen. Leslie. Thank you. This is the heavy-duty end of the market. The DeWalt combination hammer. Now, depending on which bit you put on it, it'll go through just about anything. There you go, half a breeze block. The only problem with that piece of kit is its weight. It weighs in at a staggering 17.5 pounds. But if you like your tools lightweight, you're gonna love my screwdriver. Leslie, have you got my screwdriver, mate? Thanks very much. This is the IXO from Bosch, and it's the world's lightest cordless screwdriver. It weighs just 300 grams on account of its lithium battery technology. Grab that piece of wood, would you, mate? Three power tools later, one finished bird table. I've got the bread. Oh, it's for the birds. Here's a question for you, Suze. Yeah. Do you think you've been photographed at any point today?
No, but I've been filming the Gadget Show all day today.
OK, so you've been filmed.
Yeah.
So that'll probably get thrown up onto the internet in the next few weeks.
At some point, probably.
OK, what about yesterday?
Yesterday, yes, because I was shopping in a supermarket and a man took a picture of me on his phone.
Day before?
Yep, me and my friend Kelly were taking pictures of each other so I could send them to my mum.
You see, this is my whole point. Our whole lives now are being recorded digitally. I mean, this wouldn't have been the case 10 years ago, would it?
No, because digital technology's changed everything, hasn't it? When you can now get little cameras that you can put in your pocket, cameras on your phones. I mean, we just didn't have them before.
Well, that got me thinking, is it possible for me to create a gadget capable of recording my entire day digitally?
And have you come up with something?
I have. It's called LifeCam. The concept of LifeCam is to create a device capable of taking an image every 30 seconds. Let me just put that in context. That's 2,880 images a day, or over 20,000 images a week. And more importantly, I want to create a device that will take the picture and then upload it to the internet, so you can watch my life happening in real time. My first idea was to use a digital camera, but working out how to program it to take a photo every 30 seconds unprompted proved too difficult. Then I had my eureka moment, and it came in the shape of my mobile phone. Now, it's worth remembering that there is no mobile phone on the market that can automatically take a picture every 30 seconds ad infinitum. But there are phones that use the Symbian operating system, like my Nokia, and there are masses of Symbian downloads available for it. I'm going to download this cool-looking surveillance software called Time Spy that would effectively turn my phone into a CCTV camera. Once it's installed on my handset, I just configure it to take an image every 30 seconds and pop in a whopping 1 gig memory card that's got enough space for about 2 days worth of shooting. But I want more. I want you to be able to see every image as it's taken in real time by logging into the internet. So for that, it's back to the laptop. And onto a site called Showdown to download another piece of software onto my phone. Showdown instantly uploads any images that my phone takes up to my online Flickr photo album in real time. That means as soon as my phone takes a picture, you'll be able to log onto my Flickr account and see it. Now I'm almost set to go. There's one final problem that I need to resolve. Taking all these pictures and then uploading them to the internet consumes an awful lot of my phone's battery power. In testing, my phone only lasted about 4 hours. So I need an alternative power source. And I found it in this, a solar-powered bag. The front of my bag is covered in solar panels that can generate up to 7 watts of power. And that's plenty to boost my mobile phone's battery while I'm out and about.
The phone connects to the bag using a simple car charger and clips easily onto the shoulder straps with a little help from my Velcro collection.
OK, that's it. Let's pop on my solar-powered backpack. I've configured the camera so that it doesn't take too many pictures of people's feet or the sky. It should be at about head height. And right now, as we speak, you can see it flashing away. You should be able to see it flashing away. The images it's taking of the cameraman and this wonderful workshop are being uploaded onto my Flickr site so that the voyeurs among you can enjoy it. I'm off out there to live my life in pictures.
Now, a word of warning, taking so many pictures and sending them off into cyberspace is not cheap. Some companies charge as much as 10p an image, and at that rate, 7 days of live cam could cost you £2,000. What you need is the right tariff. And T-Mobile's Web and Walk tariff gets you as much data as you can eat for just £8 a month. Now that's a bargain. So there you are, my life in pictures and online, with the world's first ever live cam.
That is very clever, Jason. However, I think it's slightly scary. Aren't you worried about the invasion of privacy aspect?
No, I am. I'm as well as everyone else about the invasion of privacy. But all this is a logical extension of a situation that we've already got. I mean, in London, you can't move anywhere without being on CCTV.
Yeah, but how instantaneous is that, though?
Oh, it's absolutely instant. Do you want to see it in real time?
Yeah,
Come on over to the computer. We've got this plumbed into the internet.
OK.
If you just stand there, look, I'll get you on camera while I just refresh. In fact, we should be able to see most of our conversation. There's some of it there already. I'll just refresh. So this is in real time. There you go. It's not bad, is it? OK, 2 shots of you blinking, but, you know, fair enough. It was, unfortunately, mistimed. But every 30 seconds, this camera uploads an image to the internet. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could be in the toilet. I could be, hopefully I won't be. I could be walking the dog. I could be asleep. And on that level, I'm sure you'll agree it was a success.
Yeah, extraordinary.
So if you want to build your own live cam, we've got instructions for you to do so on our website, www.5.tv/Gadget Show. If you do build one, then let us have a link to your version of this so we can all pry into your life voyeuristically.
And on that thought, it's time for us to take a short break now. But don't go anywhere, because coming up after the break, Jason and I in our radio-controlled showdown. Welcome back to our grand finale as Jason and I go head-to-head in a truly spectacular radio-controlled triathlon.
The challenge is going to run in 3 stages. So first the boats, then the cars, and then my favourite, the planes. I guess you could call it a best of 3 grudge match.
First up, the boats.
My boat is the cheapest thing in my radio control arsenal. It's battery powered, so after a quick charge, it's ready to go.
I chose it because it's quite light, and I'm hoping it's going to be nippy enough to beat that Mr. Bradbury.
My boat is also battery powered, but its fiberglass hull makes it really lightweight. It's more than double the price of Susie's boat, and I'm hoping double the power.
Really good, listen.
You want to swap?
You're going down, Perry. There is absolutely no question about it. All I've got to do is get around that course without the sinking.
We're starting from the end of the jetty. Our racetrack is a circuit around 2 blue barrels. The first boat to pass the front of the jetty after 2 laps is the winner.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh my goodness, look at yours. Oh God, I'm like driving Miss Daisy along.
Fantastic!
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Jason's V24 is so much faster than mine that he can go round me in circles, lap me again and again, and he even tries to sink me with an over-the-top manoeuvre, all of which lead to an easy win.
Yes! A definitive victory! So, one very convincing and, may I say, beautifully executed win to me.
Yes, fair enough, but the battery life on your boat was quite rubbish.
Yeah, it was. It couldn't have done another circuit, I don't think. But nevertheless, a win is a win, and a lose is a lose. And Susie's losing streak looks set to continue. Why? Well, because in the next round, my choice of car was this!
And mine was this.
Welcome to part 2 of our radio-controlled triathlon.
This is our car race. Are you ready? Steady, 3, 2, 1, go!
Get it on!
The Mini T is ideal for flat surfaces like this one, and you can change the radio frequency, which means you can race a number of these cars at the same time. But it's not designed for big jumps, and on the first lap, I bottle out of the ramp, whilst Jason goes full blast and leaps over with ease.
That's because I've blown my budget on a 2.4 horsepower truck. Its top speed is 50 miles per hour, and it's got great big tyres and a solid body, which makes it pretty indestructible. A bonus is that it comes ready to run, so you'd have to put it together, and there's some fuel ready in the pack.
But it's so powerful that Jason keeps going off track, into the tyres, and he even manages to smash into the camera.
Sorry.
Lap 2, and I'm going to try the ramp. Not exactly a fast and furious takeoff, more of a slow, safe crawl over.
Round to the final bend, and despite my accidents, I'm too fast for Susie to catch. That's 2 races in the bag for me, and a couple of tricks over the ramp to boot.
Thank you! Fantastic! Another convincing win to me. Let me just do the maths there. 3 rounds, 2 wins. That means I've won before we even go into the planes round, right?
No, it doesn't. Because of the degree of difficulty of flying a model aeroplane, round 3 has double points. And it's all about skill. So instead of a head-to-head race, we were given 2 minutes to do as many aerial stunts as possible. Oh, yeah.
Well, this is my chosen plane. It's a little Super Cub. And interestingly, as a private pilot, I've actually flown the real thing. So hopefully that'll give me an edge over Susie. As you can probably see from the way that the wings are a little skittish, it's very windy here today. In fact, I've been told by people that know a lot more about it than I do, that in scale terms, the winds here are 200 miles an hour. So not ideal for a complete novice radio-controlled pilot. But nevertheless, I'm feeling pretty confident. Maybe foolishly so.
To help me try and keep the plane in the air, our mentor, Ali, is on hand to give me some tips. Now, remember, I've never flown a radio-controlled plane before.
Just keep climbing.
Keep climbing.
Yeah, just keep going to wind, keep climbing, get some height.
Hey!
Oh, man, I just did a loop-the-loop. Right, I'm going to try another one. Right. Excuse me.
Bit of power, bit of right now, right, that's it. Throttle right off now, and let it come down. Just let it sink, a bit of left, 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 flare. Perfect. Greaser. Spot on.
Yes! Did you see that? That was amazing!
2 loop-the-loops and a perfect landing. Susie's got to bring out a flying pig to have a chance of winning.
OK, I know I haven't done very well so far, but I've tried to use my initiative in this challenge and I've tried to think smart.
You see, in my hands, I think any plane will end up as a wreck on the runway. So I've hired this plane for the day with Ali at the controls. He's a world champion radio control pilot, and what he can do is simply amazing.
Look at that!
This is not fair! How much did you pay him for that?
350 quid.
Ali, I'll double it!
Too late, you're out of budget.
£1,000! Look at the control! That was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Incredible. Dirty tactics, though, Susie.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, you managed to get a draw out of the jaws of defeat.
Nice loop-the-loop, though.
Thank you.
Nice landing.
Thank you very much. But it's not over yet, because Ali also brought a whole bunch of really cool model jets. And I'm not talking about little things this big. Just one of those jets is the size of my car, can go 300 miles an hour and costs £30,000.
So, we will say goodnight now, but we're going to leave you with some of the most awesome gadgets that we have ever seen.